No one deserves to go through something like this behind bars. He has lived in Florida for more than half his life and worked for the same construction job for many decades. Every day that goes without him here is a day lost forever. This is about being human, about love, connection, and presence. The one thing he needs the most is the one thing that we're being kept from giving him, which is us. I feel that it would be immoral and inhumane to let a man who is suffering, who is terminally ill, spend what little time he has left in pain and isolation. Please don't let him die in a cell. Please don't let his vital memories be of those of pain and isolation. The American flag stands for compassion, kindness, liberty, and justice for all. We're all human, and today I'm asking for one human act of compassion to please let my dad come home.
My vote, again, is to deny the request for conditional medical release.
When I voted for Trump, I supported the very system that allows this kind of cruelty to happen. I've spent the last few days reflecting, and I feel like I came through some sort of revelation. I questioned my beliefs, my choices, and my role in all of it. My vote wasn't just a mistake, it was the ultimate betrayal of the very people that I come from. I feel like living in South Florida, surrounded by Republican voices, I was brainwashed into thinking I was one of them. I fell for the propaganda, the normalization of cruelty, and I believed the lies that gave me a false sense of security and belonging. I was convinced that voting for Trump was for the economy or against crime, when in reality I was supporting a man and a movement that dehumanizes people. He basically built his platform on targeting immigrants, spreading hate, and pushing policies that ultimately broke families apart. I regret my vote so deeply, and if I could go back and change it, I would. I'm reading, listening, learning, and unlearning everything that I thought I knew. And to anyone who is feeling the same regret as I am, I want you guys to know that there's still a way for us to move forward, but it starts with honesty first. To every single person who has been affected by the choice that I made, I am so sorry. A lot of you aren't going to forgive me, and I'm really not expecting anyone to, but I just want everyone to know that I'm going to move forward with more compassion, continue educating myself, and fight for those who can't fight for themselves.
Sigo cruzando ríos, andando selvas, amando el sol, cada día sigo sacando espinas.
That's crazy.
아니, 수지 사는지.
윤주야, 너 저기 옷 입어.
What the heck?
자켓 입어.
엄마, 걱정하지 마.
Back here. Stand, buddy. You know what's coming.
We're literally going to my check-in.
We're going to take him. You can follow us. We have no issue. Come out.
No, hold on. I got my ticket.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it over there.
No, we had an agreement.
Can I talk to him now?
We'll discuss it over there. I have no problem talking to your wife over there.
You can follow
Please come out.
us. Can you follow us?
Yeah, you can follow us. We're going to ISEP. Come on.
But
Sir,
This is my mom, bro.
All right, well,
Have
then,
some
we're trying to
humanity.
arrest you. Then please come out.
We had an agreement. I just had my...
I'll give you the opportunity to come out.
we literally have eyes.
Refusing. Here's the warrant if you want it. You can have it. Here's the warrant.
We literally talked to them. We literally talked to them.
You're going to make it harder yourself. He's going to get detained.
We
Please,
told you
we don't want to
We
do
have
anything
a,
better for
no, but we have a plane ticket.
Okay, but please come out.
We have a plane ticket.
Please come out.
We had the agreement.
Why are you covering your face? I know who you are.
So you're gonna forcefully take me out.
I am.
So you're gonna force.
We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just moved here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babe.
Emotional outbursts, at times so heated, police had to step in. We're talking about City Council today and a vote to spend $51 million on helping migrants here in Chicago.
Yeah, Erica, and for many different reasons, among them the fact that this $51 million approved today is only a short-term fix and more money will be needed in just weeks.
We cannot continue to falsely pit communities against one another.
Deep emotional wounds coming to the surface.
As Black people who have been hurt continuously by the city and country it loves, it ain't our responsibility to take care of everybody else.
And anger.
We don't want to have to recall anybody. We don't want to have to protest anybody, but we are not going to be ignored, Brandon. Mayor Johnson.
Many in Chicago's Black community and the City Council speaking out against spending $51 million to house migrants, asking when will the help for them finally become a reality.
And it cannot be put on the backs of the residents of Chicago without showing them that they're getting something out of this.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, presiding over his second full City Council meeting, had to ask for calm more than once.
Will the Sergeant of Arms please restore some order?
Police also intervening at one point to allow the meeting to proceed. Ultimately, the measure passed with 34 votes. Many who voted to approve the money, like 49th Ward Alderwoman Maria Haddon, call this an immediate crisis that needs attention. But, she says, so do concerns of the city's Black residents.
Why are Black people in Chicago and some communities so angry? Why is all this kind of anti-immigrant sentiment coming up? And I want to explain to folks, it's because if we cared as much about Black people and had over the decades as we do about everyone else, we wouldn't be here.
But the money from a 2021 budget surplus will only last 1 month. Many alderpeople say it's time for a long-term plan and some state and federal help. With that, should taxpayers be concerned?
I think we should all be concerned anytime we're having to utilize this level of resources on a temporary situation, especially with not a real sight of federal support coming.
Hours after the meeting, Mayor Brandon Johnson offered no specifics.
We're going to have to dig in a little bit deeper in the city of Chicago, but that's going to be a collaborative approach.
As for a timeline for a long-term plan to deal with this issue, there isn't one. I'm live outside Chicago City Hall in the Loop. Dana Kozlov, CBS 2 News.
Dana, thanks.
I think the issues arise because when you were born in America, it makes you an American. You know, we're teetering on it, but let's just go with what we know. It makes you an American. However, when you are born Black in America, that does not necessarily make you a Black American. Shut the fuck up and listen. That means you and your people have no direct connection to the history of being a Black American in the United States of America. That's the key. And because you and your people have no direct connection to the history of being a Black American in the United States of America, it is difficult for some of you to grasp the importance in calling yourself a Black American. Let's say you were born here, but your people are Jamaican. So even though you may be a Black American because you were born here, you have no connection to the place because your people are Jamaican. And so you consider yourself Jamaican American, even though you were born in the United States of America. And that is absolutely positively fine. But you must concede there are layers to being labeled a Black American. And you need to find out which layer you sit at and sit your there. And that's why so many people think the United States is a nation made up of immigrants. And it is not. And when you say that, you absolutely discount and wipe out all the things Black Americans, descendants born here. And I hate running this fine line with y'all, right? Because it's a fine line, because I know them that's going to hop in these damn comments. But you erase it when you say it's a nation of immigrants. You erase Black Americans and you erase indigenous people. Because those two groups let you know it's not a fucking nation of immigrants.
I want people to understand the stupidity in all of this. You have a lot of people now, especially seeing a lot of Hispanics get directly online. And at first they were all cheering, I will vote for Donald Trump. And then after voting, right, being so proud, being so loud, being so boastful, sticking their chest out and waving their flags, all of this other type of stuff, right? Waving the MAGA flag and then waving their Mexican flag and waving the American flag, right? 3 different flags. After doing all of that, having all of the paraphernalia and yada, 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 then they end up finding out that everything that he said that he was going to do, he was actually going to do. I'm a little bit confused on where it was that people thought that Trump was lying when he said that, yo, we're going to, instead of build the wall, we're going to just deport you guys. We're going to get you guys directly up out of here. He said this for the longest time possible. I'm a little bit concerned for humanity, where a lot of people don't believe a person such as Trump when he says that he's going to do something. There's not a time that this dude did not miss. If he said that he was going to deport you, he's going to sit up there and deport you, right? And you have a lot of these people in 2025 still sitting up here crying, getting on TikTok and crying, but like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Trump is deporting us. I voted for him. Who told you to vote? This is what Black Americans been sitting up here talking about. We told y'all what not to do, and you decided to forego the information, all of that wealth of knowledge. You be like, we don't care what y'all say, because realistically, we don't think that we're in the same boat as you guys. We're different. We don't like your skin complexion. We're actually this, that, and the third. So you thought that you were better than I. And here you go. You're on the first thing smoking. You can reach it by airplane. You can do it by train. You can do it by bus. I don't care how you get there, but you're going to get there. And I want y'all to remember, just previously, a video that should have went up around 7 p.m. today. Well, I'm sorry, this video should be happening around 12 or 1 o'clock a.m. So yesterday, right, I put up a video around 7 p.m. and there was a Hispanic military personnel, and he was feeling emotional, feeling some type of way because he voted for Trump, and his vote for Trump got his wife deported back to Honduras. Color me surprised, right? You decide, because your parents, however it is that your parents got here, we can only guess, right, how your parents got here. They had you, and I'm guessing that, you're an American citizen, right? Because your parents had you here, right, on American soil. Cool, fine, no problem. So you decide that it is in your best interest to give back, right, which is serving the country, right? So you went directly into the military. Cool, no problem. Don't see any problem with that. But then you got married to a woman of which does not have an American origin, and this is why she got deported. And you thought that by you being a quote unquote American citizen serving in the military, that was going to secure her being here. You thought wrong, buddy. So instead of him, he had to make 2 choices. He was like, yo, my family is now, pretty much gone. So realistically, I don't have anything here. Now, I want people to understand he had something here before he had that woman here, right? Which was him being American, him having the greatest opportunity being here and doing yada, 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 right? So not because everything is broken apart because of his own decision making, not the woman from Honduras, his own decision making. He now has to decide on if he wants to leave America or if he wants to go to Honduras to be with his family. He opted to go to Honduras. Well, it be like that, because the main thing that I've told people before is that you don't cheat and skip the line. You go through the necessary legal routes that everybody else has to go through in order to become a legalized citizen. The moment in time that you cheat or you decide to skip or cut in front of other people, this is when inevitably you have to deal with the consequences. Now, during the Biden administration, you didn't really have to deal with those consequences because they were like, we're going to open the borders, let everybody in, yada, yada, yada. Everybody's free. You guys are going to get thousands of dollars, all this other type of stuff, right? Everything was good. It was the land of milk and honey for everybody during the Biden administration, during those years, right? Now you're not in that safety net. You're not in that Biden administration anymore. That was, a very thin line that was hooked onto a very big ship that was sinking. And now that ship is sinking, and now that line is no more. So now you're just stuck in open waters, shark infested open waters, and you got to figure out what it is that you're going to do. So this is the predicament that a lot of people are currently in at this moment in time. Just like the other video that was also listed, you had somebody, the guy almost looked Asian, right? But he was getting deported. They said that he had his court dates, all this other type of stuff. He was on his way to do X, Y, and Z, I guess the self-deport, whatnot, or whatever. ICE was like, you know what? You taking a little bit too long. The paperwork says this, that, and the third. We obviously still see you here, so you're not moving quick enough. We're going to help you move. And that's what they decided to do. They decided to help that man move. Like I said, a lot of people are finding out the hard way. This is why I can't feel sorry for a lot of people, because this is what they voted for. There was another content creator that wanted to sit up there and say that, but how are you guys going to sit up there and say that illegal immigrants voted for this when they can't even vote? Even though illegal immigrants can't vote, a lot of them were still parading around Trump 2024. They were still wearing MAGA, still preaching MAGA. A lot of them could not even speak the language, but they knew how to say Trump 2024. They knew how to sit up there and say that. So like I said, irregardless of them being illegal or not, they still decided to advocate for somebody who was not advocating for them, somebody who wanted to get rid of them. And he is doing just that. And now a lot of them have to suffer those consequences. Now a lot of them are scattering like roaches when the lights cut on. Now a lot of them are trying to figure out if they're going to continue to try to hide out here and just buy time, knowing the fact that ICE is looking for them, or if they're going to self-deport and then try to come back over here a few years, next few years or whatnot, or whatever, however it is that just so happens to work. A lot of them are just trying to figure that out. And then, mind you, a lot of them are illegal and they decided to still have kids here. That was stupid. Why would you do that? You knew that you needed to go through certain things in order to live in the system, but you opted not to do that. You wanted to take the easiest route with the least amount of resistance, and you wanted to cut in front of your own people who came here the legal way, that has to wait and go through the court system for years or however long that it takes and spend, ungodly amounts of money in order to secure the citizenship, but they still end up doing it. But you wanted to cut in front of them because you didn't want to do that hard work. You didn't want to dedicate that time. Again, this is why I call a lot of them cheaters, because they are. You cheated your own people in order to be the first in line to get the resources, to get the necessities, to get the things that you specifically wanted because you're selfish. You didn't want to wait with your people that you're advocating for, that you say that you're so with and so community minded. Nope, you cheated them just like you cheated everybody else. Why? Because at the end of the day, you work as cheap labor in order to undercut the other people that are actually more deserving of having a job because they're actually certified, properly certified, went through the proper channels of which you didn't. This is why I gave you guys the other video where it showcased a lot of these quote unquote immigrants, illegal immigrants, getting CDLs and other types of licenses, applications the wrong way. Easy work. How that happens. But yeah, people want to sit up there and say, we're hardworking, we this, that, and the third. No, actually you're not. You got some cheat codes, some very nice cheat codes of which Black Americans can't seem to get their hands on and use because we don't have the complexion for the protection for those processes. Nor is it our people that are running those systems. Oddly enough, it's your people that somehow, some way get into those systems, and then you guys find your little corner. You're like, all right, everybody who don't know how to speak the language, you come directly over here. We're going to slide you these documents, say yes, no, no, yes, maybe so, bam, we got your CDL without you having to take any trainings or courses, and you're on the road making tens of thousands of dollars for your family, while black people out here still got to struggle, and they're getting barred out of these jobs because we don't have specific people in these positions specifically looking out for us, because if we did, it would be considered discriminatory. It would be considered discrimination. We would be called segregationalist, right? We would be called divisive, or dare I say, we would be called racist, right? It's crazy how that works, how everybody else can decide to cheat the system, but black Americans still have to play by the rules, and we still get cheated, we still get slighted, still get slanted, even if we decide to play by the exact same rules that are laid out for everybody else. Everybody else gets to cheat and do whatever it is that they want to do, just turn on God mode, and black Americans still have to start from level 0, go through the forest, cut down trees, banging rocks together, take out a couple of rabbits to, formulate some clothes and whatnot, just to level up their character. It's crazy. It's crazy. And people wonder why black people are staying directly out of these situations, why there's an innocence. Black people don't, in a sense, care. And we're busy doing our own things, growing grocery shopping, going to the movies, watching, Netflix or Tubi. We're sitting up here gaming. We're, going out here fan dancing and all this other. This is why. This is why, because we're tired. We're tired of turning the cheek. We're tired of giving value and respect to other people. We're tired of being disrespected and devalued. We're tired of people telling us that we're lazy and we don't want to work. Mind you, you guys are coming directly into this country and you're complaining to other immigrants, trying to say that we don't want to work and we're lazy, and then you're going to try to get your family members in there. What? Huh? That's how we play this? No problem. So we can play this very evenly. We can play a cheating game as even as possible, the same way that we've been playing this in America. No problem. We're going to stand still and watch. Stand still and watch. And again, for the other people out there that are, I'm going to say black American-like, because you're not black American, but black American-like, they keep trying to tell us that we need to, really go for and support all of the immigrants. We need to go out there and put our bodies directly on the line. We need you to shut up. If not, we need ICE to come get you, because we're tired of y'all talking. We're tired of all of y'all talking. Y'all must not understand, at the end of the day, we don't care what happens, because black Americans are still going to be in the same circumstances, still fighting the exact same battles that we've always been fighting since the beginning of the country. I guess that you guys don't realize that, right? I guess you guys don't actually understand that. This is